Hey, family, it's a little after 7 p.m. East Coast time, Sunday night. So you know what time it is. It's time for the Fighter Share Report. My name's Brew. You know I'm here with the Badger. He's in full effect with the hat, glasses, microphone,
Yeah,
muscle, and TV behind him. What's going on, Badger?
man. Listen, can't call it, bro. Just got done talking with my kid, man. But I'm happy to be here for therapy, man. I just left the gym. We was getting the floors done, putting the bags and stuff up, man. So everything falls into place. But I'm here for this therapy session, man. Let's do it.
Look, I'm excited. We have a really good show lined up. It's heavy with the UFC, but there's a lot going on in the UFC. So don't hate, just enjoy and educate. Because UFC 251, my goodness, seems like it just keeps changing and changing and changing. So let's not wait. Let's jump into On My Grind. And look, I should have changed that because the main event is no longer in peril as of today. Why? Because Gilbert Darano Burns, I got that right? Darano?
Something like that.
Okay. He came up positive for COVID-19. So within a matter, it seemed like of hours or at the most a day, Jorge Masvidal has been put in as his substitute to fight KAMARU USMAN. Look at that. Wow. Went back to my Nigerian roots.
Yeah, you
It's somewhere
did.
back here.
Didn't know you had them, but I'm with it.
We all got him. So, hey, that is going to be a fight worth talking about. I know we're going to break it down on the beatdown throughout this week, but just the fact that Justin Gaethje wasn't put in is kind of what I want to bring up.
Um, you snuck one in there. First things first, man. Let's just give Dana White his props for being able to find someone that is going to garner the interest that we would have gotten had we were able to see Gilbert Burns. Jorge Masvidal is the perfect replacement because there's only two things he's gonna do. He's gonna fight. He ain't gonna talk shit. So from that standpoint, we getting a great fight. We can go down the line and talk about the technicalities and all that. But at the end of the day, man, he's a vet. He's been around. He's only been stopped, I think, once in his entire career. All the losses he's had, I think he's only been stopped once, submitted maybe like twice, and the rest were decisions. So this dude coming to fight. And you know he a Florida boy, so you know I got to be glad he in there. Never met him, but had a few conversations with Kamaru. You know through working with Titan FC and you know with my MMA guy. But listen, man, I'm here for them. Just happy they got somebody that of this caliber. Somebody that's going to bring a show, that's going to bring the fight, and that's going to talk trash. I'm just with it, man. I'm happy all the way around. As far as Justin Gaethje, I'm okay with that, man. Let's save Gaethje for Ferguson and let that be cool. I mean, not for Ferguson, for Khabib. And we good. We good.
All right. Listen, I just look at the fact that Masvidal was offered the fight and turned it down previously because he wasn't getting paid enough money. So what now? COVID shut your bank account down. So now, hey, this is look, you got a week to the fight, bro. A week. Not to mention that that trip over there is going to set you back condition wise. It just does. That long time on a plane. You can't get up and run a treadmill or exercise that much on a jet like that. I mean, it just your body does something when you travel that far. You and I have both taken those long trips. So, and this one's even longer, I think, than you and I have taken. I mean, you're going to Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, Abu Dhabi is a little bit closer than Russia, but yeah, it's all when you start talking about anything over 10 hours, it's all start to feel the same.
Right.
Look, that's why he chose Masvidal. That's why he chose him. He's a consummate professional. He's not going to make any excuses. He understands what he's up against. And look, I think he's going to be all right. I think we're going to be in for a good show.
Well, he's going to have to be all right. I like Masvidal. I'm not taking anything away from him. I just, he's been all over the media, you know, I mean, just like really negative for the past month. And I kind of feel like Dana White was like, you know what? Now's my chance to shut you up. So it's like, Ooh, be careful what you ask for. Hey, it is what it is. But I wouldn't want to be on that end of the stick, as to say. But I do think it's going to be a good fight. I'm not as excited as I was for the Burns fight, but it's still a fight, and I like KAMARU Usman. As we don't predict winners on this show, so some people say it lets us off the hook. No, because you and I really want to tell people who it is we we believe is going to win. So it's kind of difficult for us to have that policy, but we stick to it.
But yeah, and at the end of the day, man, we do want to be the only combat sports platform out here that just gives it to you straight. And if we
Yeah.
start talking about people that we pulling for and we want to win or we expect to win, it's a little bit inherent bias there just by nature, right? You just as humans, we interact that way. But listen, man, this is a good thing. I'm okay with it, man. This is gonna quench my proverbial combat bloodlust on next Saturday.
Mm, I guess it's gonna quench mine too for a little while, at least another week.
Yeah.
Um, Look, it's time. Punch counter punch. Who is the biggest draw for Usman? We started debating this last week.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna let you go first because normally I throw my point out there.
All right, I'll come out the gate first. You know, Gilbert Burns, nobody knew. Only hardcore UFC fans knew who Gilbert Burns was about a year ago. Um, I had the privilege of spending some time with Gilbert Burns in Russia for a fight, and his brother Herbert was on the undercard. Got to know him pretty well. Got to kind of eat with him at the presidential dinner. Got to work out with him a little bit. Serious guy, like him, wish him nothing but the best. Gilbert Burns is not a household name, and he didn't become a household name in one fight beating Tyron Woodley. What he did show was that from a combat sports standpoint, he is the livest dog in that division, meaning that he's probably the only guy at that 170-pound division that can probably beat anybody else in that division. He's that good. So from a fight standpoint, he would have been the bigger draw for what's going to happen inside the octagon in preparation for Usman. Outside of the ring, come on, man, we're talking about the BMF here, man. Everybody knows who Jorge Masvidal is. He is definitely the bigger draw. He is the bigger name. Unfortunately, the fight's on short notice, so what we expect may be different than what we're going to get. But from a name point and a ticket selling standpoint, nobody is bigger than Cuban Street Jesus right now, man.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm not taking anything away from Jorge Masvidal, not at all. Skill wise, talent wise, popularity. But I do think because of the push the UFC has given Gilbert Burns, both leading up to the Woodley fight and because he was so impressive in the Woodley fight, and then right off of that, they did not take their foot off the gas. I have people asking me about Gilbert Burns who didn't know him leading up to the Woodley fight. Or they were like, who was this Burns leading up to the Woodley fight? And then they started seeing all the promo, the PR. And I think it has a lot to do. Honestly, I give ESPN a lot of credit because now that the UFC is on ESPN, where the casual sports fan goes to tune, not necessarily the combat sports fan, but the casual sports fan tunes in. So now you got the casual and the combat casual and the hardcore fans all in one location. So Gilbert Burns got a huge push, bro, to the point where when Vegas recognizes you, before the fight really is announced, you've got a big push. And I'm not taking anything away from Masvidal, but I think Gilbert Burns, honestly, would have been the bigger draw for this fight.
I mean, look, I don't agree with you. I know from a purist standpoint that yeah, I think you and I would have preferred to see Gilbert Burns, especially because they both had a full camp to get prepared for this fight. They're training partners and sparring partners, and unlike boxing, there are different martial arts that you can mix in. Obviously, MMA, mixed martial arts. So there's going to be some things that we were going to see these guys try to do to each other to neutralize that common ground. Check this out. The UFC created a belt for who? Nate Diaz and Cuban Street Jesus to fight it out. And guess what they fought? The mecca of all combat sports, Madison Square Garden. And they put on a show. Gilbert Burns can't compete with that. He is not a bigger draw. Masvidal is the bigger draw, but will the performance justify it? We're gonna have to wait and see.
First of all, Gilbert Burns doesn't have to compete with that. He doesn't have to compete with what they did in Madison Square Gardens. Two, Nate Diaz was probably the bigger draw at the time. So just like Woodley's lack of performance propelled Gilbert Burns, Diaz is celebrity, and the fact that Jorge Masvidal is a beast propelled him to that next level. Look, you run it back, you have Masvidal and Burns fight. I think still Burns, because of the push that they gave him during this dormant time, he's right there. I think he would be the draw right now. But again, we'll never find out because Burns got sick and Masvidal slid in.
One word before we jump off this topic. 2 words. No. Ben Askren, fastest knockout UFC history, belongs to Jorge Masvidal. He's the biggest draw. He was viral. The whole world saw that. Enough said.
Where did Ben Askren come from?
I don't care. The whole world saw that knockout.
He got traded
seconds.
for Mighty Mouse. So he didn't belong there in the first place.
You're discounting the point.
Meanwhile, Adrian, no. I had changed that. I don't know why Meanwhile is sitting up there like that. Give me one moment. I will find the correct one. I don't know what happened. I saved it. But I love technology because we want to give this the honor and respect it deserves.
But yeah, meanwhile, I'm going to continue piling on you with that nonsense you just uttered.
Look, man.
About Gilbert Burns, the bigger draw. Gilbert Burns is a great fighter. He's never had a viral moment. Jorge Masvidal went viral. The whole world. All those people talking about on ESPN that got to watch Gilbert Burns, they saw that knockout and they watched it 100 million times.
Get off the soapbox. So we had some unexpected news at the end of last week. They shocked the MMA community. This is how you find out really these guys are real. Even the ones that really don't like each other. They cross paths in training. They cross paths coming up. They get to know each other. And there were hundreds of comments posted on social media in respect to Khabib and his dad, who was well respected in the MMA community and who held a lot of respect even before they got in the MMA community, just on his laurels alone. So, we want to give a shout out and pay our respects to Khabib's dad and send our regards and condolences to Khabib, who has to deal with this at this time. And the fact that his dad died due to early complications of COVID-19. COVID wasn't the reason why he had the massive heart attack, but it was. It started the ball rolling. So I'm going to turn it over to my partner. Put that soapbox under him again.
Yeah. At the end of the day, man, these gladiators, these warriors, these fighters, these combatants, they're human. And in times like this, we see that. We saw this a few months back with Tony Harrison and his dad, Charlo, who vowed that he never liked Tony Harrison, sent his condolences, right? And it's just, and like I said, they're human. And we all have humanity in us. And I think in the world of chaos, the things that we're seeing right now all over the news and what's going on, it's good to know that the media cannot dim the light that is in us as humans. And I think people, by and large, are usually good people. And, this thing is going to resonate for a while. It's going to sting for a while. I lost my pop, so I know firsthand what it's like. But I think Khabib is going to bounce back stronger. I think he's going to take his dad's teaching and his dad's legacy, and he's going to just use that as fuel to be the best fighter he can be. He'll have his moments, and he's never going to forget, but each day it'll get a little bit easier. So with that being said, man, he's gonna get through this, and he'll be ready for Justin Gaethje whenever that time comes. Believe you me, dad there or not, he will be ready. And if anything, this is just another evidence to the rest of the world that we need to take this COVID thing seriously and
Mhm.
just do your part as a good, decent human being, right? Put your damn mask on.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to believe in, you don't have to just be a good person and do that. And I think if we can all agree on that, then the rest of the stuff will figure itself out.
it's not difficult. You're right. It's not difficult. Put your mask on. Just put it on. I saw a brother the other day. Looked like he had, them arm pads we used to wear in football way back in the day. Looked like he had them on with some blue gloves and a mask. And at first I was tickled. And then I realized his children had masks on and blue gloves as well. So I was kind of warm my heart a little bit. I'm like, okay, this man takes it seriously and really understands he has to protect his family. So, anything else before we move on, my friend?
No, that's all I got, man. I think that's a pretty self-explanatory title right there,
Yeah.
and I think there's not much else to be said after that.
Well, I want to apologize for the language in the CBM ahead of time.
You apologizing for something?
I'm not the one who has a problem doing it, but yeah, um, just because we do have, you never know. This is a time where people may be watching it as families. You may have younger kids tuning in, unlike the beatdown. So which comes on every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 11 p.m. You can catch this show, the Fighter Share Report, every Wednesday and Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we're gonna jump in to hashtag CBM. Couldn't have been me, and this really could not have been me on the receiving end, especially when I went back and saw it later. So again, I apologize about the music, the language of the music. I ain't pick it. It was there when the clip was sent to me. You ready, Badger?
Let's do it.
You kind of see what's gonna happen. I work hard every motherfucking day. I work hard every motherfucking day. I work. You can't say nothing. You can't, if you got hit like that, there's nothing you can really say.
Okay, run that back.
I work hard every motherfucking day.
Bro. Wow.
I work
Okay.
hard every motherfucking day. He going down.
Wow.
He's
So
going.
so first of all, there
Uh-huh.
was so much wrong. Okay, let's unpack this. First of all, the fight had just started or the next round had just started. Why are you
Right.
dancing? Why are you dancing? Why are you
Good
dancing?
question. Good question.
Why are you dancing? Like what are you doing? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you prance your self. I was about to call this man a name, I don't know him. You prance over there
Mm-hmm.
knowing
Mm-hmm.
that he's fighting from an orthodox stance.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you move towards his right hand? I don't understand. And your hands are down.
Right.
Even it looks like he was getting ready to try attempt to throw a right of his own. But why are your hands down? Bro, it's so much wrong with this, but it ended the way it should have. And you're right, it couldn't have been me because I would hope that I would have my fundamentals together before I got in the ring.
Well,
He
look,
shut his lights off, and then he showed him how to really dance.
because look, his lights are out now. Right after the punch hit, his lights
He's
are out.
done. He's out of there.
And if you don't believe it, look at the legs.
Fold like a beach chair. Fold
His,
like a beach chair.
his body at that point was just figuring out how to unfold. He was gone.
Yeah.
And I love the dance.
Fold you up. Fold you. Look. What are you doing? Why are you loading up? What are you doing?
and Buddy is coiled. He ready to strike.
Right. He's ready. See where his right hand is? It's
Yes.
right there. He's holding the phone. It's right there. Boom.
Go, go.
Taking the Clearwater Beach.
Uh,
Taking the Clearwater Beach. He stretched out.
yeah,
We gonna take that beach chair and we gonna straighten it right out, and we gonna sit down because that was terrible.
yeah. He's done. He was done.
Yeah, that
There
was
was there was,
terrible.
there was nothing else for him to do but just go to
That
sleep.
was that was terrible.
Lay straight up.
I'm mad I didn't see that live, and I'm mad I don't know who that fighter is. If anybody knows who that fighter is, please jump in the comments, tag us, send us his Instagram name or his Twitter handle so we can ask him a few questions. Because I
Yeah.
want to know what he was thinking then. That was ridiculous.
Yes. He was probably thinking, that's it. There was nothing else. He was done. He was done.
I would be interested to see what that exchange looked like, either at the end of the round before he came out for that round, or whatever led up to the dancing. I got to figure it out because you was all the way wrong.
Yeah.
Whatever you thought, it wasn't. It wasn't. Whatever you thought, bro, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Pretty much.
Nah,
Pretty much.
it wasn't.
Hey, man, look. Um, I know we talked about it, but I still say shout out to Khabib Nurmagomedov for what he's going through. Shout out to Gilbert Burns for what he's got to deal with now, the whole healing and mending process. And always shout out to my wife and my daughter, bro.
Look, man, I just want to let everybody know we appreciate y'all for riding with us. Like my partner said earlier, you can catch this show every Wednesday and Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Oh, he got one more. What's up?
Listen, you know how I'm always paying attention to politics and health news and looking at this whole COVID thing?
Okay.
Bro, they were talking about for the World Health Organization, and really not the CDC, but the World Health Organization released like the leading killers in certain demographics. And you know what they said? You know what? I'm going to save it for tomorrow. Watch the beatdown, and I'll be able to tell you what the World Health Organization says the leading death is in a specific group of people. We'll talk about that tomorrow night at 11 o'clock. Sorry, bro. Go ahead.
And that, my friends, is what you call a cliffhanger. So on that note, yes, this show every Wednesday and Sunday, 7 p.m. The Beatdown, our unscripted, unfiltered show for the adults. Every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I want to give a shout out to everybody. Shouts out to ProBox. Shouts out to Gary Jonas. Shouts out to my partner and everybody that's rocking with us. Fighter Share Nation. We out here. We'll see y'all. Peace.